Today. My name is Ron Zahavi, and I'm with Microsoft, and I'm also a member of the IOTS World Congress Program Committee. And it's my pleasure today to introduce our next industry leader and speaker, who directs our Microsoft engineering effort for Azure IoT. Earlier, we heard mention of the importance of platforms, and the Microsoft end-to-end platform for IoT really delivers a complete portfolio, broad portfolio of both features and capabilities and services that enable businesses to realize the full potential of the Internet of Things. So with that, please welcome Sam George, Director and Partner of Azure IoT at Microsoft. Thank you.
Well, good morning. Thank you for having us. I first want to say it's an honor to be here with so many luminaries from the industry that are moving IoT forward. It's an honor to be part of that. I am the director of our Azure IoT efforts. I represent a very large team back in Redmond. We're very passionate about driving the Internet of Things forward. We're very committed and wake up every day obsessed with building the best platforms and solutions for our customers and our partners and the IoT ecosystem. So thank you for having me. The first insight that we've gained over the last couple years in IoT, when talking to customers and from working with partners that go and work with customers, is that IoT is really a business revolution that's masquerading as a technology one. It's a new set of technologies that are enabling a business revolution. Companies don't wake up and decide to connect things for fun. They do it because there's value in it. And there's actually a tremendous amount of value, as you're hearing all week. The most exciting part of this is the breadth of transformation that's happening across manufacturing, from machines that can now self-diagnose and self-help and call for service, and with predictive maintenance to machines that never break down, to energy that's more efficient with cleaner power and a lot less of it used across industries. And this is really important as the planet is getting pretty crowded. To transportation, moving people and goods more reliably, more safely, and using less energy, which is very important. To smarter cities, you heard a lot about that this week as well, that are more sustainable, prosperous, and economically competitive. And in agriculture, we're seeing a lot of IoT in agriculture all over the world, with better yields, better quality, fewer pesticides, less resources required, and better outcomes. And even in public safety, with more efficient response times, with better readiness in emergency situations. All of this is being made possible by the Internet of Things. And with healthcare, we're seeing improved quality and better outcomes to patients everywhere. And the best part, this is just a small segment of all the things you're hearing this week, but the best part is that all of this is really happening right now. It really is. You know, a couple years ago, we were seeing people question whether the Internet of Things was real, and today it's how quick can I get moving and how can I get started? And the opportunity is massive. So we're very focused as Microsoft, where McKinsey is talking about, where 70% of that value that's being derived from IoT is coming in business to business, in commercial and industrial scenarios. And I work with many of these customers and partners on a day-to-day basis, and it's amazing the amounts of operational efficiencies that these customers can drive. It's amazing the levels of optimization that you can have from very simple deployments. And you really see that on the commercial and industrial side. Now, there's going to be a lot of devices connected, and more importantly, there's already a lot of devices out there. We're a part of the OPC Foundation, and part of that mission is to connect existing running factories and allow customers to derive insights without any downtime to their factories. One of the things that we've seen in our time in IoT is that there is definitely a maturity model in IoT, and that customers go through IoT in kind of a predictable fashion. Now, some leap ahead, but some move through this maturity model. And the good news is that there's business value at every step of the way. So the first step that we see is simply real-time monitoring of physical assets. There's a lot of IoT that's related to this. And the value is knowing whether your assets are operational. One of our earliest customers is ThyssenKrupp Elevators. And for them, they're doing advanced predictive maintenance to reduce servicing costs of their elevators by 50%. But for them, even having elevators connected that will tell them whether or not they're operational before a customer reports it. Because a lot of times what happens is that these elevators will quit working at Sunday night, and then Monday morning business starts, and it's a bad morning because there's an elevator down. So knowing that ahead of time and being able to proactively service that, just from remotely monitoring, not even any fancy analytics, has a lot of value. Knowing if your assets are healthy, knowing if your assets have been stolen. A lot of IoT right now, in this phase, in this part of the maturity model, is about reducing theft, ensuring basic human decency, making sure that the coins that are deposited in a connected laundromat actually make it to the bank, and that there's not any coins left. Knowing where your assets are, and then in this phase too, knowing what tools and parts and expertise to send when it's time to fix those things. All of this can be done without very fancy analytics. One of the things we like to encourage customers is to start small. Start small with something where there's business value in simply knowing your things, because small wins lead to big advances. And so that brings us to the next phase, which is around real-time insights of physical assets. This is when you start to know not only if your assets are operational, but whether they're in an optimal state. Knowing exactly when to service them, no longer doing set servicing, right, which is very, very, very wasteful, but knowing exactly when to service, reducing the amount of parts that you have to bring, reducing the amount of expenditures from rolling trucks to checking on something. And importantly, knowing how your customers are using these assets, using these products, staying in touch with your customers, figuring out new insights based on how your customers are using your products, and then how to improve future versions of your products. And then finally, we think where this is all going in the not too distant future is around business transformation. Once you know and once you have an accurate prediction of your servicing for industrial things, for commercial things, you can start changing business models to, instead of selling services like a service contract, selling uptime guarantees, selling device as a service, which is typically higher margin. It costs you less to do, you make more of it, and it still has the same value to the customer. To be able to introduce new product lines based on deep insights into how customers are using your products and unmet needs they might have. And most importantly, partnering with other companies on on insights into your assets. As IoT gets going and we get good at connecting, keeping things secure, and driving real-time insights from IoT, what we're finding is that there's going to be an insights economy where insights from one company are going to be useful in partnership with another company. So the impact of this transformation, and we see it on a daily basis, is really massive, driving brand new margins, driving brand new incomes. I think you've been hearing about this all week, but it's very real, and it is very transformational that a few things and being able to monitor those things can really drive. So that's the good news. The bad news is that IoT projects can be fairly complex. When you're talking about large heterogeneous fleets, it can be difficult to maintain cohesive security end to end. It can be time-consuming to stand these projects up and build the solutions. There's incompatibilities with existing business processes, with existing things, and it can be hard to scale. One of the big challenges that we see is that it's easy to get started in IoT, but if you don't have a plan to scale, and if you don't have capacity to scale, by the time you realize you need it, it's often too late. So it's very important to be strategic about how you scale. So this is our mission. This is what we do. This is what we wake up every day to do, is to make IoT easy, to reduce the barrier to entry, to make things go faster, to make things go at the speed that you see of software. So for us, a very simple view of an IoT solution starts with 3 components. And of course, there's a lot more to this, but this is really, when we get asked what constitutes an IoT project, we always see these 3 things present. First, there's things. Now, the things aren't often the devices themselves. Like, for example, with Johnson Controls, one of our customers, they have connected chillers, industrial chillers. They're not as interested in the piggyback device with the sensors on it that's sensing the chillers. They're interested in the chillers. Now, of course, they're interested in the device because it has to be operational, but they're really interested in the things. There's a whole area around insights, finding real-time insights, historical insights, driving improvements into your things. And finally, and very important ingredient in all of this is actions. It's not enough to have an insight. An insight is worth a penny, an action is worth $1. And so being able to plug into your existing business processes, being able to drive your business is really what connects the Internet of Things and makes it work and lets you realize the business value. We think we have the most complete service portfolio for IoT in the industry, from the Azure IoT suite, which helps you get started in minutes. You can quickly provision a working end-to-end IoT solution that'll scale to millions of devices, and it takes about 5 minutes. This is something that used to take companies about a couple months to a year to put together, and we do it in 5 minutes now. To the Cortana Intelligence Suite, which is all about a rich set of data and analytics offerings for everything you need in IoT to drive real-time insights, to drive historical insights. And then our Dynamics products, Microsoft Dynamics 365, to be able to connect with your customers and connect into actions. Now, the most important part, and I really want to emphasize, is that we are a very open cloud. And so if at any point in this chain, you already have something that you're using. If you're using Salesforce and SAP, that's great. We have open source connectors that can connect to those, drive insights into those systems. If, for example, you're using the IoT suite to manage large populations of devices, but you're using open source technologies in order to drive insights into data, it's very easy to add that. We have partnerships with companies like DataStax, which build industrial strength Cassandra clusters that connect into the Azure IoT suite. So it's a very open ecosystem. One of the things that surprises, or I should say used to surprise a lot of companies, is that Microsoft is a very cross-platform cloud. In fact, Linux is one of our fastest growing workloads. And so it's something that we very much take to heart and support and embrace. So as I mentioned, the IoT suite is all about getting started quickly and yet customizing to meet your needs. We find that no 2 IoT solutions are the same. And in fact, partners and a partner ecosystem are really important for that last mile and that vertical specialization. So we help customers get started, or partners get started quickly with a working end-to-end IoT solution that works really quickly. You can connect devices to it in just a few minutes, and yet it's scalable and grows with you. Our analytics platforms were recently nominated by Gartner as the leader in the analytics platforms and business intelligence. And so it's something we take very, very seriously, this driving insights into IoT. You know, customers, when we talk to customers, many of them that we work with are multinational customers. And the last thing that you want is to deploy one IoT solution in one part of the world, say in China, and another solution in Germany, and another in the United States, and another in Australia. You want to be able to simply mirror the exact same solution. So this is where Azure really shines. We have very aggressively driven a global footprint. We have over 30 operational regions, and a region is composed of multiple data centers geographically separated for disaster recovery. We have 36 that we've announced, and we're seeing tremendous amount of scale. So about a year and a half ago, when we went live with our Azure IoT services, we were doing worldwide about 10 million messages from devices and services. We're doing about 10 million messages every month. Today that number is 3.5 trillion a week. So that's the kind of increase. And the nice part about that is that customers don't have to worry about whether they have that capability or that capacity. They can count on us to scale with them. The other thing that's important for us in IoT, and certainly for this audience, is that we realize that many IoT solutions are best done completely on premises, like factory solutions or oil and gas rigs. We announced a product this year called Azure Stack. It will be commercially available next year. And as it's commercially available, we'll start integrating all of our IoT services so that they can run completely disconnected from the cloud, fully on-prem, and then it gives you the best of both worlds. You can mirror a solution in the cloud, or you can mirror it on-prem, or a combination of the two. Microsoft also is investing in Windows IoT, which is designed for smart things to really bring intelligence to the edge. And Windows 10 IoT is a really remarkable offering. The Windows platform is one of the most sophisticated and secure platforms in the planet. And so we've leveraged that for Internet of Things, for everything from industrial devices to field gateways, all the way down to headless devices. And it brings with it all of the security sophistication that you find in real Windows as part of an IoT profile. Now, the last speaker was just talking, Accenture was just talking about this, and we're actually seeing a tremendous amount of traction with Microsoft Hololens in industrial scenarios. One of the reasons why is because it is a mixed reality environment. So I was recently in New York City with ThyssenKrupp elevators, and they were demonstrating, these are some screenshots from what they were demonstrating. This is what the UI actually looks like. And so as you're wearing your HoloLens and you come up to a part that you're going to fix, you see this exploded dash view. It's the most surreal thing if you ever get a chance to try it. We'll be bringing these things around soon. To see a hologram floating in the air, and yet you can still see the room around you, and to have a hands-free experience. Now, why it's important in IoT solutions or in IoT situations is because, I was talking to one of these service engineers, and what they were saying is, when I go out and go fix a piece of machinery, I'm on my own. If I can't fix it, it's awful, because I've just let the customer down, and now they have to go send someone else. And so for these technicians, being able to wear HoloLens and just have a Skype assist with remote engineers who can offer assistance, and then it can actually annotate in the air right in front of them and provide assistance, and also to be able to access online manuals and things like that right from their holographic device is pretty revolutionary. There's a lot of use cases for this, from creating visualizations of safe zones around industrial equipment to this remote assistance. And so we're seeing a lot of interest in Microsoft HoloLens across the Internet of Things. And with that, I'd like to show a quick video from Sandvik about some of the great work that they're doing on top of the Azure IoT Suite and Cortana Intelligence. Can we please roll the video?
Sandvik has been in the forefront in the metal cutting industry for more than 70 years. What we can offer for our customers is specific knowledge at the tooling level, minimizing idle time up to 50%. At Sandvik we use Azure IoT Suite to collect data in real time and getting facts out of the machining process. With our sensor-equipped tools, that is possible. If you know the temperature, if you know the load, if you know the vibration, if you have that and can use that type of data, you can increase the efficiency of the machining process and generating savings for our customers of millions of dollars. Our decades of knowledge and experience from the metal cutting industry, combined with Cortana Intelligence, I think makes the perfect blend. It is about using the cloud, giving instant recommendations about cutting parameters, speeds and feeds, connect that to our CRM system, bring that into our call centers and instantly give feedback to the customer. This enables customers to predict when to change a tool, when to order a tool, how to move out of our vibration zone. In simple words, how to become more efficient. We at Sandvik Coromant are really excited how Dynamics 365 brings all the systems together. With this solution, we are able to reinvent the art of manufacturing. Tools, machines, processes working together, all the way from the customer to the sales interaction, helping us deliver an unprecedented level of field service.
So some other great examples, I mentioned earlier Johnson Controls has connected industrial chillers that now restart 9 times faster. And the way they do that is really straightforward. They are monitoring in real time the telemetry from these things, and so if they break down, they know which parts to send. They know exactly what to do to restart them, and a lot of times they can remotely restart them. ThyssenKrupp Elevators has reduced downtime 50% for their connected elevators. Rolls-Royce estimates they can save $250,000 per year per plane just from using advanced analytics to predict the accurate fuel usage. So every 1% yields $250,000. And then Rockwell Automation is improving the oil and gas supply chain, saving daily downtime costs of up to $300,000. And it's not just these 4, there's a bunch of customers. This is a sampling of our customers that are already built on our hyperscale cloud and taking advantage of Azure IoT and the Cortana Intelligence Suite. Now, I'm very fond of saying that the IoT is not a winner-take-all market. IoT is about partnerships and ecosystems. IoT affects the entire world, and so no one company can do this, and we are incredibly committed to our partners, and we have a very rich and robust partner ecosystem, over 300 partners in 36 countries around the world that are trained on our services. There's a few of them here today that I'd like to highlight. Copa Data is here demonstrating end-to-end industrial IoT scenarios for the public sector. Cognizant is here today demonstrating better customer experience and improved and refined store operations. Fujitsu is here in our booth doing increased sales and improved service to reduce costs for retailers. Mesh Systems has real-time diagnostics and proactive maintenance built on top of the Azure IoT suite. And then Ebex is also here with insights from their connected field service connected to IoT devices. So we've been very busy over the last year. We've been very busy innovating, listening to customers, and delivering the next set of services for IoT. So today I'm pleased to announce the fruits of our labor over the last couple months. The first thing is the security program for Azure IoT. So what this is we provide already an industrial strength cloud, secure protocols, secure software that runs on any device, any operating system, things like that. We've also published security papers on best practices for cybersecurity. But what we hear from customers and what we hear from partners is, did I do it right? How do I know? And how do I know before the hackers know whether or not my IoT solution is secure? This is a very common problem. And so what we've done is we've created a new matchmaking service with third-party security auditors. These are independent security auditors that are experts at our services, and they're also experts in IoT security. Everything from device security to cloud security to device management strategies to how to do threat modeling to how to assume defense in depth and build robust strategies for security to how to secure cloud solutions. They know all of this. And so what this is a matchmaking service where we have a curated list of security auditor experts that can come on site, inspect your IoT solution, find exploits, and provide recommendations so that you know before the hackers find out. The next thing that I'm pleased to announce is Azure IoT Hub device management. So this is already in preview right now, but what we're going to be doing next month when it's publicly generally available is we will be updating every IoT hub, which is our cloud service for connecting the world of devices to the world of cloud solutions. We'll be updating every IoT hub on the planet with this new device management capability. This has device twin capabilities, which enables you to synchronize state between cloud and device, even in disconnected scenarios. And it also has device management built on top. And we built our device management based on customer feedback in a very open and extensible way, supporting multiple device management protocols and even custom protocols. This makes it easy to manage the software, firmware, and configuration of heterogeneous fleets across the planet. And it's very important in security. You cannot secure what you cannot update. I think the days are going to quickly be behind us where customers and partners ship an IoT device and then never update the software. That is a recipe for disaster. You need a way to update devices and the software on it because new exploits are always found. And so you always need to be able to do that. And this really helps. Now, if you have large populations of devices and you're having to roll trucks around the world, that's very expensive. And so this is an approach where you can manage long-running updates, coordinate with IT, OT teams, and provide a secure experience for your IoT solutions. So it's a very important part of harnessing the Internet of Things. The next part is a new feature on IoT Hub that, again, we will upgrade all IoT hubs on, which is called Azure IoT Hub Routing. So what routing is now imagine for a minute that your cloud solution is receiving millions of messages from millions of devices every hour, every minute, every second, whatever frequency makes sense for your scenario. That's a lot of messages, and what you wind up having to do is figure out where those messages go. Some of those are going to go to long-term storage. Some of those are going to go to alerting frameworks. Some of those are going to go to complex event processing systems. And if you think about that, right now, figuring out and writing the code to do all of that routing is very complex. The analogy that I like to use is, remember email before you had inbox rules? Before you could sort email automatically and put them in different folders? We've done that now. So we make that very, very easy to set up declarative rules, and we will automatically scale out and handle those millions and billions of messages and put them in the right places in your IoT solution so that you can process them. IoT gateways play an important
Internet of Things Solutions World Congress 2016 is just opening its doors.
How did you all get in here? All right. This is great. Oh, I wonder how many languages we're going to go through.
Internet of Things Solutions World Congress 2016 obre en aquests moments les seves portes. El comitè organitzador i Fira de Barcelona els donen la més cordial benvinguda.
That's 3. All right, I think we're done. Okay, so I think I get a few more minutes now. All right, so gateways play an important part in IoT, and I want to talk about this for just a second. We very much in IoT, we very much in Azure IoT believe that there's a balance between the cloud and the edge of the network, and that a lot of processing is going to be happening out on the edge of the network. We don't think that everything's going to go to the cloud. So we have an open source gateway SDK. It's free, it's under an MIT license, you can customize it, meet your needs. It's cross-platform, open source as I mentioned, and it's already in public preview. And our announcement today is that next month we will be having the production readiness of this. So you can start deploying that in production ready scenarios. IoT gateways provide a variety of services, from security isolation to protocol translation for protocols that don't belong going over the open internet, to device data normalization and local device management, and even edge analytics. And so this is our open source free platform for IoT gateways. We also have a commercial kit by Seed in partnership with an Intel gateway that we'll be announcing. And then finally, so we run a program called Azure Certified for IoT. And the whole problem this solves is customers want to know which devices work great with Azure IoT, so I don't have to go find out myself. And what we've done is we've started this program. We're already up to 175 devices that are compatible from 100 different partners. And now what customers are asking is, how do I find the one? Like, I don't want to sort through 175 devices and growing. And so what this is a new online catalog that makes it very easy to search based on all sorts of metrics, from operating system support to language support to ports to operating systems. And so this is a very easy to use catalog that's launching today. We'll be here all week. Again, honored to be here. We're down in the booth just down the hall, and today at 10:15, right after this, we're going to be having an in-depth update on all the services that I just announced. You can see them hands-on and get a sense of what they can do. We've got some partners in our booth, Cognizant, Copa Data, Ebex, and Fujitsu. Want to thank them. And also there's some great talks today from folks on our team, from IoT standards to trustworthy computing to fog computing, and even human improvement using IoT. And with that, I want to thank you again. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for your time.